Okay, so I needed to open up my center three sole pieces to accept the grates, and the center section was easy. It was just a matter of cutting them directly as marked, but the outboard parts took a little more effort. And I wanted nice, crisp, sharp edges. So what I did was measured out the width that I needed. In this case, it was 5/8 of an inch, and set that on the fence and measured to the outside of the blade, since that's the dimension I was working to. And then with the piece sitting on top of the saw, centered in my cut, I started the saw with the blade down, and then very slowly raised the blade upward until it pierced through the top. And then, I don't think the marks are, no, you can see there's a little bit of it left here. So I had marked how far I wanted the saw blade from the table saw to come to as I worked the piece back and forth. But I didn't want to bring it all the way to the corners, because that would have meant that I'd had a kerf underneath that would have gone quite a bit further than I wanted to go. So with my nice straight line created with the table saw, albeit short because of my marks, this is 3/4 of an inch from here, then what I did was finished the cuts off with a small handsaw, and I think a Japanese saw would probably be great, but it's not what I have. I've just got a simple little pull saw that has a fine kerf and worked fine for this. So I finished these vertical cuts here with the handsaw, and then also ripped down to the straight line. So what that does is it gives me straight cut with no extended kerfs. And the reason I didn't want that is both partly because of strength, and also would meant I would have had more, I would have had to either fill those or whatever. I don't know. I just didn't want them. So went to some extra work to eliminate extended curves. So the next step is to run some biscuits into this piece, and that's what these lines are about. And typically on pieces that are thicker than 3/4 of an inch, I don't think biscuits are necessary. I think the butt joint is totally adequate for strength, since there's so much surface area involved. But I do want the biscuits to help with alignment. So I'll biscuit this thing as well, and then we'll go from there on to the next steps. Okay, so here's where we are with our cabin sole at this point in time. Use the track saw to cut these angles that meet up with these wings, and this is very much a design build, so once I get this back in the boat, I get to figure out how to make these wings, and I'm not looking forward to that. It's probably going to take a lot of fitting and fooling around to make it work out right, or look good. Plan is now is the center field will be screwed down with the bronze screws exposed, so that you can easily extract them and pull the center section off. I think what I will do on these outboard pieces is screw and plug those, because you'd still have access both from the inside, and then also from the storage areas beneath the salon seats. Couple details: I've put a very small bevel on these edges for the grates, and same for this joint, because for sure over time there will be a certain amount of misalignment between those pieces, and if you were to use a flush fit up, it would inherently one piece or the other is going to be high and it'd be goofy or difficult to deal with. So with the bevel, it just gives you something more forgiving to make that joint up with. So this is the starboard side, and I get lots of fun dealing with the port side soon. So my plan is I've got some glass work I want to do up in the bottom of the hull, and as soon as I complete that, then I'll start taking my blocks that I built to create the supports for the wings and whatnot, and start gluing those down. Then I'll take this whole bit back up to the boat and start sorting out the last piece out here on the starboard side, and then the pieces over here on the port, and then the wings. One thing that at a point in time I'd sorted out that this angle for the wings is about 10 degrees, and I was going to split it between the two pieces, but what I decided was invariably I'm going to end up having to plane and fit, so there was just no reason to bother with on this side with doing anything other than just a straight 90-degree cut, because any piece that mates up to it, as an example, is going to tilt up, and all you're really looking for is that this top joint be tight. Don't really care about what happens on the bottom side. So once I have created the tight fit up between the wings and these and this field, then all will be good in the world. But I'm not looking forward to that. That's going to be a challenge. I think once this is all in there, maybe it won't be so bad, but I'm thinking that's going to be hairy. And once I get my glasswork done, get my blocks in, then I think I'll start painting the bilge, get that all cleaned up, ready to actually start dealing with this thing. But I'll tell you what, this is one cool sole. Make no mistake about that. This Bubinga is crazy cool to look at, and the Padauk makes for a cool accent, and so does this bevel. This bevel actually is a neat accent too. So I think I'm liking the way it looks. I'm not liking the way this is the final fit up in the boat. That just not looking forward to that part of it. Could be some serious head scratching on that part. Okay, here's where I've gotten to, and the intention here is to leave some breadcrumbs for somebody else to maybe try to figure this little bit of insanity out too. What I did was made a cardboard template, and the basis of that template was the bits and pieces that I'm not going to go over there, that I saved from the removal. And that got me my starting template. And then in order to fit that template a little closer, I cut it in half. So this is a joint line here, and then I went up into the boat and made some adjustments, marked my existing sole position. And what you're looking at here is I'm taking I wouldn't really call it the remnants, but the pieces of the Bubinga and Padauk, and laying them out such that I have some slabs panels to work with to then use my template to cut around and take that up in the boat and either start crying or be happy. I don't know. This is not simple here. The other thing, I'm not trying to be cheesy here, but I'm trying to use the wood I have to best advantage. These three pieces in here, this section in here, this is existing in the boat already. So it's only beyond these lines that I'm concerned with. Once that I have glued these up, I'll get them to the bandsaw and cut them to the rough shape, and then start taking them back up to the boat again and seeing if I'm on the right track or not. This is this is why boat people that make boats make a lot of money, because they can figure this stuff out really well. This is not my day job. It was never my day job, and I wouldn't want it to be my day job. But it's kind of fun to sort through, and hopefully I can get this these rear wings sorted out, because I think the forward wings will be much simpler. Wait till I get there. Anyway, that's where we are right now.